Hello and welcome. This is a video that's going to be looking at the sort of, functions and just general stuff to do with Excel that will probably help you when it comes to doing your math studies projects. So basically, we'll just get straight into it. Here is just some general data that I had from my own one. It's a bit messy, doesn't need to be, but it's just did it functionally. Right, so first things first, so obviously mine, I was looking here at price and quantity. This was my raw data basically. So I'll just copy some of those across to a new document so that we can get started. Right, so obviously entering in stuff into Excel, you know how to do that, it's all fine. What we're going to do is look at sort of more advanced, not particularly advanced, but just useful functions of Excel that'll sort of help make things a bit faster for you. So let's say that we've got a days column here. Maybe it was one sold for $448 on day 1, and that was on day 2, and that was on day 3, etc. What you can do with this is if you just select those 3 numbers that you've done initially. If you select those, then put your cursor over the dot on the bottom right, drag down, and it'll automatically continue that pattern for you. And that way you can quickly sort of get things down, so you don't have to be entering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all individually. It also does, more advanced patterns. Obviously, it can like detect odd numbers and what have you. They can also do much more advanced mathematical sort of things. So for example, let's say you have some sort of formula based on we'll just go for price and quantity here. So it'll be pretty easy, but basically maybe you're looking for the total price sold per day. So you'd be equals, you just type equals, meaning it's an equation, so Excel knows to do an equation. You click the box which has the price, so that's A2. You could type A2, but yeah, it's easy to just click the box. And then you're going to do an asterisk or shift 8. This is sort of computer notation for maths. You might have noticed it'll probably have the same symbol on your graphics calculator. So basically you just look for the same notation and you'll be golden. So yeah, we go pricing times, then it knows you need another variable, so you can just straight away click quantity, enter, does that. You want to repeat it for each line, just drag and drop, works out price by quantity for each line, and you can see up here changes with each box. Right, sum is probably a handy feature when you're doing average and stuff. You don't have to go equals that plus that plus that. Instead, you can just type equals sum. Either type a open bracket, or you can just double click where it says sum there. And then you click and drag, just like that. So A2 colon A21 basically just means A2 to A21, pretty obvious. Close the bracket if you want to, it'll still work if you don't. Press enter, and bam. That adds them all up for you. And then you can also, obviously from that you can manually do the averaging, so equals that divided by just a slash, like calculator, divided by, what is that, 20 units of data. Bam, gives you that. Or otherwise you can go equals average, equals average, double click it, click and drag for all those, enter, and it gives you the average. Another handy one, which you might not be expecting, standard deviation works as well. I just go equals ST and then just standard deviation. There's a couple of variants, P and S. Generally just go for P, and it should be good, but if you know the difference, then you should account for that, obviously. You might want to double check this on your graphics calculator, but you should be doing that anyway to show you're working. This is more of a reassurance for doing quick maths, basically. So you do that, same thing again. and enter, it gives you the standard deviation. And if you were to drag it across this way, say, gives you standard deviation for that line, standard deviation for that line, and the same for the averages, and all that. For some reason it's carried across as numbers, but that's fine. You can always adjust that. Right, what else do you know? Graphs, very useful, clearly. So let's just delete these because we don't need them. Right, so you will be ignoring days because I don't actually need that. Price and quantity though. So to make a graph, you just highlight the stuff you want in the graph basically. You go insert, you can go recommended charts, or you look for it manually. Recommended charts should do it, yeah, scatter. Make sure, even if you're looking for a line of best fit, that you choose scatter and not line. Because if you do line, you cannot find the equation of it or anything like that. You can only do that with a scatter graph. So make sure that's the one you pick. So you do that first, it'll give you this. You can resize it, change the theme, whatever, that's all good. Right, so this is pretty bad set data to copy, to be honest, but that's alright. So plus means add an extra thing, clearly. You can add a legend, shouldn't need one. Access titles, that's the first one you should make sure you've got. To make sure that this says quantity, that says price in this case. I won't bother now. Then you give it the title. Yep. Then trend line is probably what you're looking for. If you had a rather standard line, you know, very straight and yeah, basically just straight, not like a curved set of data going something like that, but rather a straight line, then you can just go for a linear trend line. So if you just do that, it'll put it in. Obviously that's not very appropriate here, but just showing. And then if you go to more options as well, this is where you can add in the equation, which has put itself uncomfortably back there. Just drag it to the bottom right. And it gives you the equation of the line, so you can use that, just replace x with whatever value you want for interpolation or extrapolation as you need it. If we go back to that one, you can also display the r squared value. Both of these things you'd probably find in graphics calculator, and you should for the working that is required, but it basically gives you a way to reference that directly on the graph itself, and it means you can check your working against this basically, because as long as you entered the data right here, then you can be pretty confident that this will be right as well. Yeah, to be honest, that's pretty much all the functions you need. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you would like any more help, but yeah, good stuff. See you next time.